Masego, good to see you. Now, you spoke to the mother first. It's a very disturbing story, firstly. What does she say happened?
Tony, this story, we spoke to her last week, Thursday. She says that, she felt some pains a few weeks before going to the Tambo Memorial Hospital. She went to a local GP, and the GP said to her, the scan is showing me that there's something wrong with your baby. I suggest that, as soon as you can, you go to the hospital. One of the days, she started feeling more pain on her abdominal area, and she went to Tambo Memorial. They did a scan there. They found that, the baby is abnormal, but that they could hear the heartbeat. The baby, she says, was kicking. Everything was normal, except that he was growing abnormally. So her thought was, I'm going to have an abnormal baby that is born premature. I can do that. People have kids with Down syndrome. The kids can make it, you know. And when she finally went into labor about 3 days after that, she says she was pushing, nothing was coming out, and eventually the doctor came in and used the forceps. And she says that's when she saw her child's head come out on its own without the rest of the body.
Now, it wasn't the head that came out on its own, because she goes on to say the arms also came out in the arms.
Well, actually, it's not even her that says that it's the arms, Tony. Funny enough, when we spoke to the hospital, they didn't deny anything. Lucky for us, we did let them know when we sent them the request to speak to them that, look, the uncle did take pictures, so we have seen pictures of this child in 3 parts, Tony, 3 parts. They said that they were not expecting the child to come out, only the head to come out. What they were saying is that, using forceps is normal. It's to assist the baby to come out. They've used those before. They didn't expect the head to come out on its own. And later, when they tried to pull out the rest of the body, only the hands, the arms came out. And so she stayed with this child inside of her for another 24 hours before they could take out the rest of the remains. So it's a very bizarre, very disturbing story.
I mean, in that situation, one thinks that maybe you can do a C-section. I mean, I'm not a doctor, but having had kids, you can do a C-section, can't you?
Tony, that is exactly where we are confused, and as well as where, the 19-year-old mother, Kagiso Khatle, having her first child and experiencing something like this, she cried. I mean, I spoke to her for probably 20 minutes. She probably cried for 10 of those 20 minutes. Because for her, she says, why couldn't they just cut me and take out my baby instead of having me see such trauma, seeing my child come out like this? According to them, they were saying that they were saving her. They were doing this for her. That's what the hospital staff says. They say that they had to save her from the scars of that C-section. But let's listen to what the HOD of the obstetrician department said.
He was in labor, and labor progressed. And I said, so normally when the head starts crowning, and the head is not coming, we normally will assist. That's the normal practice. So once the head is coming out, and with a lot of effort on the mother, the baby is not coming out, doctor will normally assist. We call it assisted delivery. So in this particular instance, because of the abnormality of the spine, you remember the head is anchored by the spine to the rest of your body. But because there was an abnormality, without even the doctors attempting to put the head just popped out on its own. So we tried to see if the rest of the body will follow, and unfortunately the rest of the body didn't follow. And she was right to labor well because she was bleeding, and our theater was full of emergency cases, so we tried to deliver her vaginally. So the head just popped out, and then we had problems getting the rest of the body out, so we had to take her to theater to deliver the rest of the body.
What he is saying is the head popped out. I mean, this is very bizarre. Even just saying that just seems wrong. But what he's saying is that the head popped out. It was not pulled out in any way, fashion, or form.
Yes, so that's their explanation. Their explanation is that the head popped out on its own, and they are saying that it's because the spine was not developed properly. That was why that's what was abnormal about this child, that the spine was still a bit wet. But obviously, the argument then is, why did she have to push? Why didn't we go for an emergency C-section? Because if you, as a doctor, are explaining that if the spine is not strong enough, it means the head cannot be attached properly to the spine. So you should expect that something like that might happen. So their explanation, like I said earlier, was that they were saving her from the scar of a C-section and the other complications that could come with, surgery like that. But of course,
scar.
Yes.
That's very bizarre. But finally, what recourse can she take?
She can definitely sue the hospital. She can sue, and that obviously will go to the state. It'll go to the Gauteng Health Department, which already has a lot of problems with medico-legal claims, especially, hospitals where, mothers and children are involved. So she can definitely go and see a lawyer that will help her sue the hospital, at least even if the autopsy says that the baby was never going to be okay, like they said they explained to her. At least sue for the fact that they put her through that heartache of having to see what she saw that night, which obviously haunts her, she says, every day.
Look, if you have an abnormal baby, that is my choice. I want my baby firstly,
Exactly.
isn't it? That's very bizarre. But thank you so much, Masego, for following this particular story. We'll see where it goes.